Alright folks, you ever heard the story of the outlaw Bill Honeycutt? Well, the outlaw Bill Honeycutt was a man who run a store on the Tennessee-North Carolina border, and he operated a blind tiger out of that store. Now, a blind tiger is a word that is a place where you can go and buy illegal liquor without seeing the face. If you've watched the old Andy Griffith show, they have a hole in the side of a barn. They put money in that hole, and then a hand comes out with a jar of liquor. Well, that's kind of what Bill Honeycutt did with that store. And he had it on the Tennessee-North Carolina border. So whenever the sheriff would come up from North Carolina, he would run over into Tennessee. Whenever the Tennessee sheriff would come up, he'd run over into North Carolina. And he was able to evade the law for many years, until he had 8 warrants issued for him in Mitchell County, North Carolina. So the Mitchell County deputy marshal thought, you know what? We're going to sneak up there and we're going to get this Bill Honeycutt guy. So one morning early, he slipped up the ridge, trying to get up there to the Tennessee, North Carolina, in the backwoods of North Carolina, in a wild place called the Unaka. And he snuck in there with his deputy, and his deputy came around one side and he came around the other side. Well, old Bill's a mountain man, and he noticed something was wrong. The horses were snorting a little too much and the dog was barking, and he was able to get the drop on the deputy. So he's able to capture the deputy at gunpoint and locked him up in the hog pen. Well, as he was getting ready to head over toward the Tennessee border, Deputy Marshal Greer come out from behind a tree with his gun drawn on the outlaw Bill Honeycutt. Well, Bill Honeycutt was holding a rifle and the marshal was holding a pistol. Well, Bill was just a few steps from the Tennessee border. So he turned his back to the Deputy Marshal Greer and started walking towards that Tennessee line and said, "You ain't going to shoot me in the back." Well, that Deputy Marshal took a rush at him to grab him before he went over into Tennessee, and when he did, they both started shooting at the same time. Well, the Deputy Marshal got shot in the leg, and the outlaw Bill Honeycutt got shot in the side, and he was able to stumble over on into Tennessee and get away, and the Deputy Marshal limped back over into North Carolina to get to his horse, to get back to get some help. Well, he heard his deputy over in the hog pen yelling to get some help. So he got the deputy loose and they stumbled their way down towards Bakersville, which was the place where there was a hospital and there was a little help. And as they got there, his leg got worse. He lost a lot of blood, but they got him some medical help. They put him in a house and was nursing to him. And they said, "Man, your leg's got gangrene. You're going to have to cut it off." And the deputy said, the marshal said, "I'm not cutting my leg off." His wife and his kids begged him, "Man, cut your leg off. I want you alive, Daddy." He didn't do it. So the marshal died, and the outlaw Bill Honeycutt was now wanted for murder. So he went from selling liquor in a store through a blind tiger to being a wanted felon. His story hit the New York Times. He was a wanted fugitive, and he was out on the run. Well, one day there was only one eyewitness to that story, and that was the deputy that he had locked in the hog pen. Well, the deputy came home and was digging potatoes, and out of nowhere, from behind some bushes, there was a single shot that killed the deputy. And so they put a bounty on the outlaw Bill Honeycutt and eventually captured him. And that ended his story. Did he die? Did he get the death penalty? You read this book and you can kind of read a little bit more about the outlaw Bill Honeycutt.